Hey everybody, my name is Chad Cooper and I'm a singer-songwriter. I currently just started my first label called Rama Sound, and I'm really excited about that. Also, I'm a teacher's assistant, or what we call a paraprofessional, with Plano ISD. I work at Shell Elementary. I specialize in working with special needs children, and I love what I do. And I also have a cool story I want to tell you guys. I love children, and I've been working with kids for over 5 years. And my first experience with any child was working with my cousins. It's actually a funny story. So I remember when I was about 20, 22 years old, I had an interview at a preschool here in Dallas. And the first question she asked me was, "So, I have a question. So, when was your first time working with children?" And my answer was, "My cousins. I used to help my mother and my aunts and uncles watch them. It was something I used to do. I was one of the big cousins, and I used to watch my cousins all the time. My mother was a babysitter of the family, so I would help babysit, change diapers, is all that too. So yes. So anyway, I remember what happened was the interviewer was like, "So, are you prepared for this classroom? Because the classroom I'm thinking about putting you in is pretty wild. They love to play. They're a little crazy sometimes, and I just want to know if you can handle the craziness." And I was like, I froze for a moment because at that moment I remembered the day I first experienced any type of wild toddler behavior. So this is what happened. So in that moment, I remembered in the interview when my cousins and I were bored at our grandmother's house, and my uncle and my brother were in the back of the house playing video games and just shooting the breeze, hanging out. And I was with my cousins there. And we're like, "Oh, we're bored. We want to go outside and play." So I was like, "Okay." So we were getting ready to go outside, and my brother heard us going out. So he went and told Uncle Leo. Uncle Leo was like, "Hey, y'all don't go behind that shed because it's dangerous back there, and I don't want y'all to get stung." So he looked at me, lovingly, was like, "You're in charge, and you come and get me if they ain't listening." So I was like, "Okay, Uncle Leo." So then we went outside and we had fun. We went down the 4 steps back in the backyard, and there are over 3 chairs on the patio, and the backyard is pretty big. It's a very spacious backyard. It's got a lot of green grass, and it has a slope that goes down to like a hill. And we rolled down like roly polies down the steep hill, and we were just having fun, shooting the breeze, playing tag and hide and seek, and just being kids. And I was about 13 years old. Kayla and Leah, they were about KK and Lily. They were, I think, around probably age 5, something like that, 4 or 5. And Patrick and Gabriel were between 5 and 6. And so we were just having fun. And all of a sudden, I saw one of the twins, Lily. She picked up a big old 6 foot branch. It wasn't heavy, it was just big and long. And she picked it up and she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna poke this beehive back here." And I was like, Lily, no." And right before I could stop her, boom, oh my gosh, she poked it, and it just burst, and it was bees everywhere. So my cousins are just running like little, ants, just trying to find safety and just screaming. And KK and Lily have long hair. Their hair is very long. It's very day like Rapunzel down their back. And at the time, they had cute little Afro puffs. My hair is curly. You see, we have curly hair in our family. And they had Afro puffs, and they were so pretty and cute. And my aunt and my mom would style it that way. Sometimes they put them in a little pop. My grandmother too. And they were just like screaming and running in circles, and they were like, "Oh, my hair!" Oh. And I was just trying to get them. So I had got Gabe and Pat, the 2 boys, my cousins, Gabe and Pat. I got them out the way, and then I got KK out the way. And then I thought, at the time I was just trying to get them safe, but I realized, actually it was Lily, Gabe, Pat, and Lily out the way, and I realized that I was missing one. So then I went back And I ran back to down the slope because it was a slope down the slope of the backyard, and I got Lily, KK, out the way. And when I turned around to see if we were clear, a bee went right in my eye. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I'm screaming and I'm rolling around. And then all of a sudden, I pass out, And I remember when I opened up my eyes, I was in the house. They had carried me back in. My youngest cousin, Gabe, had actually went inside and went and got help. And my uncle picked me up and carried me back in. And when I woke up, they were all standing around me like, hey, Chadman, that's my nickname. Chad, Chad, wake up. Are you okay? Are you good? And I was like, ugh. So my uncle opened up my eye and he got that stinger out. And immediately, whatever that poison was kind of lost its control over my senses. And I was able to kind of come out of the haziness of it. And by this time, my uncle was doing his. He's my uncle. He loves me, He's just trying to calm me down. He got the water and the towel, and he's just trying to cool me off and keep me, okay. And my aunt, my mom, which is the aunt, my cousin's aunt, my mom, and my grandmother had came back from getting groceries for dinner, and they were like flabbergasted and hysterical about the whole situation. Like, what the heck had just happened here? Why is Chad laying on the recliner trying to, what the heck? Was his eye like a big purple balloon? My eye was just like super swollen, my right eye. And I literally felt like when I got stung, I felt like Elektra from Marvel had got her dagger and stabbed my eye like 6 times. That's how bad it hurt. And I remember just that feeling of like, oh my gosh, that was the first experience I ever had with having being around toddlers who went a little wild for a second. And in that moment, in the interview, I kind of spaced out because I was thinking about that. Because she asked me, what was your first experience with wild toddlers? And that was the experience. And I had kind of like, oh, I'm sorry. And she was like, you didn't answer my question. She was like, are you ready for this? Are you ready to deal with some kids that are wild? And are you ready to be a teacher? So my answer was, I smiled at her, and I realized in that moment that moment had prepared me for many jobs. Being a preschool teacher was not my first ever education job. My first education job was being an assistant after school program teacher. And I had a lot of wild, crazy summers and days and years being a after school teacher, so I know all that. But that moment, that bee sting, prepared me for many jobs in the education field that I need to be strong enough to handle uncertain situations that just spring up on you. You're not ready for it. And so my answer was, I'm ready to be a teacher. This is the day I became a teacher. And this is the day when I realized that I wanted to work with kids. Because, I was prepared for it. I love kids. And in spite of some of the crazy situations I was put in, being, in a profession of caring for children, it never kept me from wanting to work with children. I love them. And they love me because I love kids and I love helping and supporting them. So, this is the day I became a teacher, and I just wanted to share this story with you. I hope it encourages y'all. I hope you got a little laugh in you. I hope you enjoyed this story. God bless you.